I see the work more as kind of fractured narrative, like little parts of everyday life, domestic life. I've always loved objects, whether they're pots or whatever, that if they don't tell you a story, they tell you the part of a story. And they're engaging enough to make you want to look at them more. A lot of the domestic objects that I choose to draw, they're double-edged. A kitchen knife in the wrong hands, is something else. So it's layered. It's the fact that it's a hearth, a kind of home. It's like I'm mulling over that idea of what home is on a whole lot of levels. I kind of research, I always have. I'm interested in the beginnings of things. So I found out that cobalt first appeared in Basra in Iran. So that's the birth of blue and white. And then the Chinese found out about that colour and started using it in a very sophisticated way. And then the Persians started copying the Chinese version of the Persian work. And I love that kind of jumbled, slightly out of control way that those things happen. And they happen through trade, which is also kind of fascinating. And so often I will borrow pretty heavily from other cultures, believing that the blue and white is kind of free of the baggage of appropriation because it's so appropriated. A lot of those blocks of text were made separately. The work really, it could be said to be 10 years old because there's probably a couple of quite old tiles in amongst the work. A lot of my concerns have been the same for the past 40 years, really. I've always drawn a lot of comfort and succour from popular music. I will remember lines of songs that I think, taken out of their context, become aphorisms. They could be some kind of strange self-affirmations. I find out that people walk past and see those snippets of songs and it will operate on them in a number of ways. People expect very little of blue and white ceramics. So they come up to it thinking that it's a Ming vase or a Delft jug, and then they see images of homeless people, or the jars that are in this show all just feature giant text of drugs that are used for depression and psychedelics that are now being used for PTSD. But they're a reflection of Dutch drug jars that were made to keep drugs in. So it's just a contemporary reading of a very old idea. There's this Trojan horse aspect to it, taking in the familiar and then subverting that familiarity.